I understand how hard it can be to go on a diet. You change everything that you like to eat. You try and eat all these healthy foods, the salads and all the treats with no sugar in them and popcorn and all these different things. When you take a drastic change and a different direction with your diet, it's very hard to stick with that. It's difficult for anybody because we're humans, we're creatures of habit, and we just want to eat the things that we like. Sometimes we'll try a new thing, but sometimes we don't because we're afraid that we're not going to enjoy it. And every time we eat, we want to enjoy the things that we eat. That's a part of the human experience. You look at people that fast for extended periods, like a week, a month. I even heard a story of a guy that fasted for a year. You think the human body can fast for a year, but yet we eat every day, 3 different times a day, 4 different times a day. We do that because we like to gather when we eat. We eat when we're happy, we eat at social gatherings, we eat when we're sad, when we go to a funeral, there's usually food. So food is personal to each and every one of us. And when you try and lose weight or you're trying to make a change, you're trying to become healthier, sometimes it's a lot easier to just change a few certain foods. Things that you like, things that you enjoy, but maybe just tweak them a little bit and eat something else that's just a little different, but something that you can enjoy. So listen, I got you guys covered. I'm gonna show you guys the top 5 foods that are low in calories and high in nutrients. The first food and the number 1 food that I think is nutritionally dense is zucchini. Shred some up, get a spiralizer, have a little fun with it. That will make a huge difference. Cut back your calories. You're gonna love it. Now, I love zucchini. I didn't always like zucchini. I didn't even eat zucchini, but I started eating it and I started replacing my pasta for zucchini. Now, if you think about pasta, spaghetti, the shells, any type of pasta, you think it has a ton of carbohydrates in it. Now, when you eat that pasta, it's gonna spike your blood sugar, your insulin's gonna have to kick in. We want to keep our blood sugars low and stable to keep that steady energy. But when you eat pasta, and listen, I love pasta. My wife is half Italian. I grew up on spaghetti and meatballs. It was it's still one of my favorite things to eat. The actual flavor in that meal comes from the sauce. And if you spend the day making a beautiful sauce with some organic grass-fed beef, put the tomatoes in, put all the spices in, whatever way you want it. Sometimes people put a little Italian sausage in there, spice it up a little bit. If you make that sauce, you cook that sauce all day. The pasta is just kind of a bulking food in there, that's a medium that you eat the sauce with. You got to remember, pasta is made from wheat. And it's flour and it's not that great for you, to be honest, especially the ones that you're going to get in the stores. You've just replaced it with a high fiber, highly nutritious product, the zucchini. You put a little bit of that in your bowl or on your plate and then you smother that in sauce and you can't even tell the difference. And you've just eliminated 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grams, sometimes 60, 70 grams of carbs. You're gonna notice a little difference when you're eating it, but if you get a bunch of meat sauce in there, cut up your meatballs, mix it up in that tomato sauce or whatever you're mixing it with, it's just the medium that you eat the meal with. The number 2 food that has low calories are pickles. I absolutely love pickles. My wife's sister, Sherry, makes these amazing pickles. She grows the food in her backyard and she makes pickled asparagus, she makes pickled carrots, she makes pickled beans, and she makes pickled cucumbers or regular pickles. And I mean, pickles are great because you can have sweet ones that have a little bit of sugar in them, but the gram count is still super low. I mean, these ones actually only have hardly any calories in them. It says in 1 ounce, there's about 5 calories. And I mean, these are such a great treat when you're eating clean because, they've got a bunch of flavor in them. Like my mouth just explodes when I eat pickles. And one thing you do need to watch for, like I was telling you, my wife's sister makes those ones and there's no preservatives in them. There's no added ingredients. The other thing that you need to be careful about is some pickles have a lot of sodium in them. And that's just due to the fermenting process and some of the things that they add into them. So be careful of that. But they're a great treat when you're trying to eat clean. Sometimes even if I'm having some chicken and rice or a steak, I'll just put a few spears, cut them up on my plate and they just add that great flavor to a meal that's a little bit bland, right? But absolutely love them. You can get some hot ones too. I got some pickled asparagus in the fridge that's like got a lot of spice in it. I think it's even got some jalapenos thrown in there. Just light your mouth on fire. But yeah, they're a great addition. Give them a try. All right, the next food I want to talk about is celery. Now I know what you're thinking. Celery's boring and it tastes bland, but you know what? I'll take my celery. Sometimes I'll just cut it up. I just want to get some of this into my body. And you just need to figure out a way that you can enjoy it. I'll cut some up in the morning. Sometimes I'll put it in with my eggs. If I'm having a stew or making like a casserole, I'll cut some up and put it in that. Celery is like a great food. It's got a lot of fiber in it. It's got a lot of phytonutrients in it. It's been shown to help with erectile dysfunction in men. It can lower your blood pressure. That's the one thing with these plants. They have so many things in them that are just so good for us. Sometimes I'll just cut it up, just cut the stalks, just put a little bit of peanut butter in here, and it's absolutely delicious. Celery, it's like 95% water too, so you're hardly getting any calories in, but you're getting tons of fiber, which of course everybody knows is missing in the standard American diet. So celery is a great addition. Try and get it in there, whether you're putting peanut butter in it or you're adding it to a meal or adding it to a soup. It's another great meal that has hardly any calories, packed with nutrients, and can make a huge difference when you're trying to lose that stubborn belly fat. All right, the fourth food that I want to talk about is broccoli. Now, I never really liked broccoli that much in the beginning, but you know what? I've learned to really love it because I'll use it as a snack. So if I'm driving or if I'm just on the go, I'll always have some cut up in the fridge and then I can just grab it and eat it like this. Sometimes I'll cook it, steam it, and I'll put a little cheese on it or a little bit of salt and pepper, or sometimes I'll drizzle some balsamic vinegar in it. You can even roast it in the oven, put a little Parmesan on it, and put some Celtic sea salt, and it's really delicious too. I always buy the organic stuff, but then I'll get the frozen stuff too, and this is organic too, and these is just the broccoli florets, and they're really good too. I mean, this stuff has an insane amount of fiber in it, which we need to get into our diet. It's really good at satiating you because it gives you this full feeling because of all that fiber, and it is absolutely packed with a bunch of nutrients and everything that your body needs. The antioxidant properties are through the roof in broccoli as well. And it's just one of those foods that you want to try and sneak in there that has super low calories, but is going to really fill you up. And these are the type of foods, just like all the others on this list that I showed you, that can really make a huge difference in dropping those calories down a little bit. And if you think about it, the reason you're gaining weight is because you're eating a little bit too much. And I know a lot of times it's hard for us to get in, to exercise, to get your walk in. And if you can adjust your diet and keep those calories a little bit lower, because you think about it, you're only overeating a little bit and gaining that little bit of weight each week if you just tip the scales a little bit. And broccoli is one of the foods that can help you do that. So give it a try. All right, guys, we're just about done going through the top 5 foods with low calories. I know I got some vegetables in there. I'm really hoping you can squeeze those into your diet because they're so excellent, especially when you replace a bad food with a good food. You get rid of a food that doesn't have any nutrients in it to one that is just packed with nutrients and fiber. So good. But I absolutely saved the best for last. And these are blueberries. I absolutely love blueberries. And you think a cup of blueberries only has 80 calories. I used to eat a lot of nutritional bars. And the bars, if you look at them, they have 200, 300, 400, 500 calories, some of these ones. I used to eat some of the protein ones. They have 300, 400 calories. And not a lot of fiber, not a lot of nutrients. And they literally have a laundry list of chemicals and substances in there in the ingredients list that I couldn't even pronounce. If you think about blueberries, they're one ingredient for blueberries. They're so good for you. And there's so many things packed within these fruits. But when you eat this form of a fruit, you get all the fiber, you get all the nutrients, you get all the benefits. I definitely give blueberries a try. There's a lot of other fruits that are the same. Remember, don't juice your fruits because then it just turns into a substance that's just like a pop. That sugar gets right into your bloodstream super fast. You need the fiber to slow the absorption. Give blueberries a try. Look up some other fruits. Check out how many calories are in there. You'd be surprised. When I was a bodybuilder, I used to avoid strawberries, blueberries, all these different fruits because I thought I didn't want the sugars. But when you eat them in their whole form, there's so much fiber in there. And to leave them void in your diet is super bad. I love the longevity stuff now, and most, if not all, of the people living in the blue zones that are living into their hundreds, centenarians, super centenarians, 120, they're eating regularly every day fruits in their diet. So give them a try, guys.